Well, Future Stars is here, and I think there are some good things about it, and I think there's definitely some not so good things about this promo that we'll all talk about today. The fodder market and the regular market are seeing a little bit of a downturn right now, which is kind of a good thing in some ways, honestly. We'll go and look at that, just like a couple of leaks and bits of news that we've got as well today. I hope you're having a great weekend, and thank you for being here. If you guys want to buy coins, you can go to MMOXP.com. The link is in the description. Use my code JFC at checkout for a 5% discount. Now, we'll talk about the Academy Attackers thing in one sec. Let's talk about the Future Stars attacking mid that came out today. This is probably the worst evolution of the year, possibly. The upgrades are really bad. It's 100,000 coins, and I mean, you can see here that this fish lock card is like one of the better cards in this, and it's a rapid plus, and that card just, that card does not look very good. Yes, it goes to 5-star, 5-star. That's very, very nice. But like, what? 100K for this? I mean, this evolution in itself shows me here that I'm worried a little bit that they're just going to make eventually every single one of these paid because they can, and they're gonna eventually just give us free ones like this. The Future Stars Academy Attackers one. These are how the free ones will come out, like once for every promo, kind of how like they did with this one. Because if that one's paid, I mean, what ones won't be? I mean, that one is gonna be one of the worst ones we've seen in a long time. It's 100K to do. I don't know if they didn't realize like what they were doing with that, but Jesus, that looks terrible. And this has a lot of good potential in my opinion. And I think a lot of people definitely like this so far. And I really like the concept of this. You know, we're gonna get a dynamic image on these cards. They can kind of maybe make them a little bit better because of the fact that EA can pick and choose the stats a little bit here. But you know, I just have to keep it honest with you and how I'm feeling, whether it's good or bad. And the unfortunate truth about this, in my opinion, is that these two playstyle pluses they gave us are just so, I mean, they're virtually useless, that these cards just won't be actually as good as they feel like they would be or say they should be. Because, I mean, just playstyles are so integral to this game. You gotta just look at any pro event, and you'll see they basically don't give a fuck what the card stats are. They're just using the playstyle pluses. And listen, not every person wants to have the best, absolute best players in the game. But then at the same time, you're not giving us any freedom by, you know, allowing us to, they're basically having us not be able to choose which evolutions to do. And I'm frankly tired of shitty evolutions. Honestly, that's kind of what I'm tired of here. There was a point in this game cycle, I think, where there were possibly, you know, 2 or 3 Evos in some teams out there. Now if you didn't do the evolutions glitch to where you could get 2 playstyle pluses on them, you haven't had almost any recently that have been worthwhile to do in a long time. And you see this Athenia card, they gave us a 5-star, 5-star Real Madrid card with these stats. Like, see the 93 pace, 92 shooting, 92 dribbling. Like, that is really, really good. And I do need to give them some credit for giving us this, because obviously they gave us this for free, and that is a good thing. Like, I don't want to downplay that, because obviously they didn't have to do this. So that in one hand is a very good thing, right? This is a good stats wise and skill moves and weak foot wise. This is a very, very good card. It's just the playstyle pluses are unfortunately just really letting this one down. If you had to ask me, I'd rather have a card that was 4-star, 4-star with a little bit less stats with power shot plus or finesse shot plus than I would this card, just because of the fact that playstyle pluses are so important. However, it's for free, so you can't really hate on it because they gave us 2 90 rated cards for free, right? Then again, these, you know, this Okafor and the Athena, you can't upgrade that card ever. Like, that card will be the exact same until the end of FIFA, and that's kind of just the truth of it, because you can't upgrade cards with playstyle pluses, especially 2 of them. You know, the double plus pursuit, this card will have 2 playstyle pluses, but there is no way you're gonna be able to upgrade this card probably until post team of the season, if even that. So that's one of the problems with this evolution, you know, thing they've got going on right now. And like I was saying, I don't want to hate on it because it's such a great idea, but I'm worried that they're just even turning this into paid, greedy, you know, the same stuff we're seeing in the rest of the game right now. I'm being cynical, you know, they gave us 2 free ones, but the playstyle pluses are horrible. The stats are good for sure. Playstyle plus is horrible, and they can't even give us one, you know, they gave us one of the worst ones of the year, and even that one's paid. And if this one's paid, then fuck knows what the rest of this year is going to look like with evolutions. And maybe this was just one-off, maybe it's a mistake, but yeah, there's definitely things to praise them for, but I'm worried that even this is turning into a greedy mess, basically. Got the Shevchenko SBC today, and I'm not gonna lie, I really like the stats and play styles on this card. I actually really do. The dribbling is a little bit low, but honestly, with the power shot plus, great shooting, he's got good passing for a striker. The dribbling, you can upgrade with a certain play style if you want to, but technical, quick step, rapid, finesse shot, power shot plus, first touch plus, and Trivela. I think this card might actually be him. I really want to try him out. I might give his loan a try during this weekend league, but I actually think Shevchenko might be a ridiculously good SBC. I'm gonna be honest with you. He actually could be 6 foot, high, 4-star, 4-star. If you've used him, let me know. I feel like he could be really, really good. Okay, on to some leaks and a bit of news here. Pedro Neto will come as a Future Stars SBC. These stats are not confirmed or anything like that, so kind of ignore those, but we're going to get Pedro Neto's an SBC. And we also have word that we're going to get 2 Future Stars icons, and we saw one with Shevchenko, so we're going to see one more coming up sometime soon. Not sure when. And once again, let me remind you, this is a 2-week promo, so this is just until this Friday, and then we'll probably see even more come the next Friday with the team too. We do have Premier League Player of the Month nominees, by the way. We got Adebayo from Luton. We've got Bradley from Liverpool, KDB coming back in, Diogo Jota, Gabriel, and Richarlison all could possibly win the January Player of the Month, and it should come out relatively soon, honestly. Probably in the beginning of this coming week, we should see the Premier League Player of the Month come in. So, yeah, it obviously depends on who wins it, but they've done a half-decent job giving Player of the Month cards, decent cards this year. I will always wish they gave them even better ones, but now let's get into some of the drama of Future Stars, because it's honestly been a pretty heavily debated topic about, has this been a good promo or has this been a bad promo? Most people think it's either one of the two, and it's either been great or terrible. Let's discuss why. So, this pack, Hectic tweeted, how's your 600k store pack? And he ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Future Stars cards in it. And yes, they're pretty much all discard, but he packed 7 Future Stars in the pack there. Holy voice crack. And then we got Jake tweeting out, what's the absolute max you'd pay for this card? Wouldn't pay over 400k personally. And it's the Garnacho card, who is insanely expensive, by the way. And if you look on Futbin, we've also got Doku, who's 2.2 million for that card, which is really insane. Honestly, that card does not look like he's worth 2.2 million. Robin is 1 million coins right now, and the rest are a lot cheaper. And they still do look pretty good. Harvey Elliott looks like a pretty good card with technical and incisive, and he is only 70k, so that's pretty nice. But Pakelme on Twitter, 100,000 view tweet basically said, hopefully big profiles actually start becoming honest when it comes to content. Yesterday, Twitter was full of yes men saying Future Stars is great because they are worried the game is dead. I personally thought the content yesterday was terrible outside of Peanut and a few icons. Amazing Evo. I can't wait to use Power Header on Athenia. Pack weight's unreal as Garnacho is 4 mil. LOL. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I think the truth probably here lies somewhere in the middle, which is the boring answer, but to me, it's probably actually the case here. If you go and look at the console and go and look at Garnacho's supply, right? Is it, team of the year level supply, or is it a lot better than that? Let's find out. With Garnacho here, yep. It's not even one page of Garnacho. So what I think is kind of happening here is EA really turned up the pack weight for the lower end, and the higher end is pretty much the exact same as before. Now, is that still better? I think, yes, that's still definitely better than what it was. Because if you look at the promo packs here, this 600,000 coin store pack here, 3,000 FIFA points, has a 96% chance of the Future Stars player. And to me, that's more like what it should be. Even if it is a discard Future Stars player, you're at least getting one. An icon, 17% there, which is a lot better than Team of the Year. The odds here are significantly better. They even have one out right now that, includes one guaranteed one, right? Well, that's really nice that the pack weight, you can tell, is definitely improving. However, like I said, the top end cards, not as much, right? Let's go look at Doku's supply as well. I'm pretty sure it looks something quite similar to what we just saw with Garnacho there, and this Doku has about 8 on the market. I think this might be glitched. I don't think so, though. If I look through here, I'm trying to refresh it so I can maybe see if it's glitched, and I don't think it is. I think this is just literally all of the Doku supply on the entire game, and I think it is, yeah. So these 2 million coin cards are never going to have a ton of supply. That's not going to happen, but a lot of them in the past have had a lot more than this. They have basically 1 page right now. That is really low. You look at the rest of these cards, and Harvey Elliott is a pretty good card with his playstyles. The stats aren't there, but I love playstyles in this game. They're the most important in my opinion. He's 75k, and Pablo Barrios is a very good card too. He's only 17,000. That's more along the lines of what I would expect to see and hope to see for a new promo. So we're just kind of seeing more of a bigger disparity between a lot of the lower ones and the higher ones, instead of kind of just seeing all of them drop altogether, which I guess, you be the judge on if that's better or not in terms of the pack weight, right? I don't know. So yeah, you be the judge on what you guys think, right? I don't know what exactly to make of everything here. And maybe this is just me, but I do know one thing, and that's that Future Stars has not made me, it hasn't made me more inclined to hop on than before, is my point. So to me, is that doing a good job? Well, probably not, but maybe I'm in the minority with that right now. And I thought here's a good tweet from Nep. He was like, the fact I can't Evo an 81 rated Fabio Vieira in this new Evo is madness because his agility is max 78, or the requirement is max 78, and he can't upgrade this 81 Fabio Vieira Centurions Evo. Since Centurions, he's not been able to upgrade this evolution, which is just, I mean, that's just insane. And this guy pretty much summed it up pretty well here. Evolutions has been irrelevant for months aside from 2 or 3 solid ones for meta. And I think that problem wouldn't even exist if there were game modes to take these more fun cards into, but EA forced your hand to make you use the most competitive cards possible to get you to the store and want you to get those, super high-end cards, right? The dream of having Club Legends all year and progress them to be somewhat competitive with the power curve was a pipe dream. I've been sitting on multiple 82/83 rated Evos for months. And that's a really big problem, honestly, is that they'll make lower rated cards good, and then in 2 weeks, they're no longer even good anymore. They're just kind of there. They're fine cards, but they really are going to make it nowhere near anyone who wants to be competitive's team. But even I myself, who hasn't done a ton of evolutions this year, I have a bunch of like 82 rated cards just sitting there, ready for another Evo that just have never been required for. And I don't want to act like I'm hating just all over this whole addition to the game, because I do think it's one of the most massive and important additions to the game in years. Honestly, I do absolutely still think so. This guy says I've got a 76 rated player, but I haven't been able to put into another Evo for around 3 months because he has 92 pace. And that is one of the problems with evolutions right now. If you Evo a card right now with 2 playstyle pluses, say one comes out and the stats are decent, but he's got 2 playstyle pluses and that's pretty good right now. In 2 weeks, it won't be as good, and that card will never be able to be upgraded again, probably for the rest of the year. Even post TOTS, you might be able to upgrade him, but even then, it's a stretch because he has 2 playstyle pluses, so he'll never fit into an Evo. So am I rambling, going on and on? I am, but it's just because I really love this addition, and I just do not think it's being used at all to its maximum capability, or even 50% of its capability. And you don't have to worry about losing money. I think that's the reason they're so hesitant to do certain things with this. It's because they're worried that you're not going to go to the store, right? So they're trying to tiptoe around adding something into the game that a lot of the fans wanted, a lot of the people that were making the game wanted, but also have it so that they can have their cake and eat it too, where we need to continue to make more and more and more and more money. But here's a new feature and an addition to the game you're going to love, but also like kind of, it's a lot worse than it could be because we're really, really worried that, oh my God, what if we lose another extra few $1 million, even though we made gambling addicts all over the place, and that won't matter anyway. If we get one card added to the team, that's an Evo, because we create gambling addicts every day who spend money on the game every single day. So what does it even matter? I don't know, but I want to hear what you think. Just let me know. The video today is mostly going to be just me talking, so there's not a lot of info right now, so if you don't like that, then I apologize. But what do you all think? I'd be curious to hear what you guys have to say about this. Do you agree? Do you disagree with me? And also, one nice thing I didn't mention about those evolutions is that they do get +3 chemistry, so that is always nice too. I don't want to forget that too. That is always a nice addition. Now, let's talk about the Future Stars market right now, because a couple things have happened here. We have seen cards with 2 playstyle pluses now that are relatively cheap, and that has caused a big impact on some other cards. Like this Team of the Year honorable mentions I saw, a lot of them went way down, like Valverde and Musiala. I think both went like way down. And Musiala's 250, and he was just, I think he was like 350, 400k. Yep, 343 on Friday, now down to 252. So a lot of these cards that just came out that had no pack weight are dropping a lot because the fact that they're not super duper in demand, and we got 2 cards or multiple cards coming out with 2 playstyle pluses that are pretty cheap. And I think it's a good thing. That I think is a very good thing, because we need cheap options, because then the market can kind of settle down a little bit, and kind of that disparity between the lower end and the higher end market probably is going to stay the same, but at least we're going to have some cheaper options here. And some of these lower cards like a Lamptey are not 350k because they're just so unpackable. That I do like about this promo, but also we're seeing other parts of the market, crash as well. Or not crash, but just go down a little bit. All these cards like 5, 4, 300k and under that are attackers have gone down because of just the new evolutions out, right? They gave you 2 free evolution cards that are 90 rated, and if you're more of a casual player of this game, you're just gonna be more likely to throw them into your team. So Diani, who obviously had, the Travella patch as well, but this is even Friday, which is pre or post Travella patch, 550 down to to 440, right? Because of just the fact that 2 attackers being added has caused panic to the market a little bit. But it's not really a bad thing, honestly. And what's really not a bad thing either is the fodder aspect. I mean, we saw 86s, 87s, 88s, 89s be so expensive, and they're actually rebounding a little bit right now, but they're still so down compared to where they were, and that's kind of a good thing. These SBCs got so expensive. Now Claudia Pina, she went from like 275k to 208k because of the fodder prices going down, which is very, very good. So some of these icons are more like doable now. Some of these other cards that are SBCs are much more doable. And if you want like a long-term outlook quickly for the market, I would expect that to continue. I would expect some of these cards to go down that are lower in price. The higher end cards probably aren't going to move too much because we're going to get a Future Stars Team 2. And my guess is it'll be very similar to where we'll have a lot of lower rated cards that are probably a little bit cheaper with 2 playstyle pluses. And then we'll have a lot of higher end cards that are still super expensive. Not move the needle on expensive cards, but the market's still pretty safe on like really expensive cards. But on lower end stuff, you might see more panic selling when Team 2 comes out as well. But yeah, anyway, at PS24, shout out MF Doom. Has anyone noticed a big change in the game? The attacking, defense, dribbling, and passing AI is fully different. The game feels so clunky. Also, JJ's having a meltdown down here, right? I hope you're doing okay, JJ. We're here for you. But I got like 3 comments yesterday saying, you know, the gameplay feels terrible. And yes, that's not anything out of the ordinary. The gameplay of this game just does feel horrible a lot of the time because we're a decade into inconsistent gameplay and they still can't fix it. Yes, that is true. If you're new to FIFA, that is true. But I wanted to, bring this comment up because is this a problem for you too? As the game felt super clunky for you as well recently? Say like post Team of the Year, or maybe it's a playstyle plus thing. A lot of cards are 2 playstyle pluses. Is that causing things to feel like broken? Maybe not clunky is the right word, but just a lot of the things in the game are different, right? How is the gameplay feeling for you? My guess is most of you are probably not going to say many positive things. Thomas says Evos should be harder and longer to upgrade, but be free and be much better once completed. None of the semi-pro, put your controller down for a stat upgrade that's still behind the curve. And yeah, I mean, that's the way they have it right now. I think we can all kind of agree is just not that interesting. I don't think because of like the squad battle stuff, like semi-pro squad battle stuff, but I think it's just because of the fact they're not good enough for what happens with this game, because a lot of times they end up where they look good, nothing too insane, but then in 2 weeks time, if they looked good 2 weeks ago, they probably aren't as good anymore. And if an Evo that just came out required your player, you can expect that player to not be required or, in the requirements for the evolution for like another month or 2, right? So you kind of miss your chance unless EA give out a good enough evolution that where you're really impressed by it. That's happened a couple times this year, definitely, but not enough in my opinion. And that's probably been one of the reasons I think it's the most disappointing. And hey, one of the most liked comments yesterday was basically a big thank you saying, keep up the good work. And listen, thank you all for watching every day. And this guy says, your brothers keep it real and don't overhype anything, LMAO. Some other YouTubers will overhype a promo. And I do catch criticism at times for being too negative, and I do want to try and just be as objective as I can be. And if it's very negative, it's just how I'm feeling at the moment. Like, I love FIFA, no doubt about it. I literally want to make it my job. Like that, obviously you have to love it in some extent to want to do that, right? At the same time, when you see ways that the game could be so much better, and I'm very confident it could be a lot better in certain areas, it's very frustrating. And then when we get something that's just like half baked and it's just kind of okay to good, I'm still not that satisfied with it because they make so much fucking money, right? Just off of, the game we love. And yeah, so I do want to not be as negative. I really do. But I think this year, if you watched me last year, I was barely negative at all last year. I actually liked what was going on a lot of the time. But this year, just in general, has been just such a shit show in so many areas that it's hard not to be negative a lot of the time in this game. It's just hard not to be. And I don't want to put on a face for everyone here because everyone can see through when someone's putting on a face. Everybody can see through that. So why not just tell it how it is and tell it how you think it is? Even if you are a little more negative than maybe you should be, why not just say how you think it is, right? So yeah, what do you think? I just want to say thank you again. I probably don't say it enough, but the channel continues to grow at a rate I didn't expect. So thank you all for that. I love you all. See you in this video very, very soon. Peace.